All right, when I say that this show is probably the best thing I have seen since Mushoku Tensei, I'm not even kidding you. This is like the best thing I have seen since then. It is insane. I mean, just the atmosphere of the episodes, the mixing of the soundtracks, and the just utter tone. And when it needs to be silent, it needs to be silent. When it needs to be comic, it needs to be comic. And it flows so good. This, I don't care if people say this is all hype. This show is the bomb. Okay, so with that out of the way, I'll probably praise more about it as we go along. But let's talk about this episode, shall we? Because it is really good. We start off with Ruby kind of in this huge, like, I'd say town area, just kind of smiling and grinning because we learn that there is a audition for this idol agency that Ruby really wants to get into. And considering now that they're at the end of middle school going into high school, she's officially old enough to be able to go to this audition for this, or go to like an idol high school, or something along those lines. So she's pumped, and I can't blame her. She wants to be like her mother and, do something that poor little Serena couldn't do in her life. And I totally get that, And so she auditions, and there's like tons and tons of applicants, and she passes the write-in. And then right after that, she passes the audition that they have in person pretty easily. And she's, of course, just ecstatic about it. So right afterwards, we kind of see her in school with a couple of her buddies. And, she's like, I'm sure I'm going to get it. Just kind of like that nice self-reassurance that one has when they do something like that. Because I know I do kind of the same thing, But your friends are like, yeah, you got the looks, you got the talent, but, your singing's a little off key. But hey, that's honest, friends, and that's something she can work on, because we know she has the dedication and talent to do so, especially wanting to do this like her whole life before and her whole life now. So, and the hardest part is she kind of goes along the lines of, kind of with a little mini flashback to episode 1 of, how she had poor health, and like flashing back to her mom's murder and how hard it was for her, just to dream of wanting to do this. And so we flash and we get to see Aqua finally in the kitchen with Ruby, and Ruby's telling him about how she's doing really good with this audition in the agency. And so he's kind of like, have you thought about, high school, considering we have finals and midterm, or I think it was finals, I don't think it was midterms, but we have those coming up. And, idols, he gets really in depth with it, kind of like, they did with about how, there's, they don't make a shit ton of money. You're going to have stalkers. There's going to be harassment. But, she wants to do it, and she wants to do it. But like I said, Aqua does not want that thing. So we kind of get this recap from Ruby's perspective about how Ichigo-san pretty much left after I died. So Miyako took over the agency, and we could all kind of see that coming from when it was there. And I's group B, Komachi, ended up disbanding after 2 years after losing their biggest member, which is a shame, but who knows, that could be a good cash grab for them in the future. Reunion tour. So after that, we go to the house again where Miyaki and Aquamarine are at. And like they're pretty much just talking about maybe you should start an agency again, or well, she still runs an agency, but it's for like social media and stuff. And he's like, maybe you should do one for idols again. And she's thinking about it, and how much work it is and everything. And by the way, that was wrong. Totally forgot. It was a Ruby she's speaking to at this point in time, because Aquamarine has left the house to go to the director's place. And so Ruby's expecting the call from the agency. She gets the call, and she is turned down. And of course, she is crying her eyes out. And come to find out, we go to the old director's house, and Aquamarine pretty much made up this whole call, and he acted it, and he blocked their number on her phone and told them that she withdrew because he really does not want her to be an idol. And we get into that a little bit here in a second, but the director pretty much goes, you can try to block her all you want and, whatever sister complex shit, but you need to get back into acting because you're doing a really dang good job. But we also find out that Aqua can't exactly work for him at this point, so he's pretty much, I guess, shadowing and cutting and editing things in the directive standpoint. But we kind of also come to find out that he doesn't want his sister doing it because he doesn't want the same thing to happen to Ruby that happened to their mother. So, understandably so. And of course, we flash back to the house. Ruby got approached by another agency guy on the streets, an underground idol agency, and they both kind of look at her like, oh, Jesus Christ. And they ask her if it's like a real idol agency, and she swears up and down that it is. And she runs away, and they're like, gosh dang, Aquamarine is pretty much, what, after it happened to Mom, I don't want her to follow that path, but honestly, it's not really his choice. And obviously Miyako wants her to do it in a sense that she wants her to follow her dreams and do what her mom did, but at the same time worries about it, understandably so, coming from that perspective of what has happened. And she thinks back at the time because she raised Ruby obviously as her own daughter, because that's, Ruby was they were only, I believe, 4 years old. And just kind of that flashback of how, she's her daughter and there's nothing ifs, ands, or buts about it. Even though obviously not by blood, she still was there and stepped up to the game when she clearly did not have to, which is outstanding. But after that, we get this idea that Aqua has where he's going out and pulling in this lady from the agency that Ruby is trying to audition to. And obviously he's going under the nice brand name of the agency, the Strawberry Place, because obviously that's where, he grew up with Miyako, and Miyako just didn't really care, so he just took a business card. And they get there, and he's talking about, before they kind of slightly flashback of showing him talking to Miyako about the idea. They're kind of like, there's good ones and bad ones. Well, obviously this is not the best one, because they get her to the place and she's like, things suck. I make 100,000 yen a month, barely. It seems like the manager's like trying to date one of the idols, and he just keeps trying to promote a bunch of idols. So, she's like, if I can go to Strawberry Productions, but at this point, nothing's really going on yet. And for the most part, I guess in the end, Aqua really just wants her. If she's going to do it, she wants to do it with somebody she can trust. And that's just it. So we can kind of tell on the side that Miyako is really thinking about starting an agency. Or not, I keep saying that. Not starting an agency, just getting back into idols. Because it's been a decade, obviously, with eyes passing and everything. So you just kind of dropped that, went to the social media route. But we get to see a nice little scene of her staring into her computer and just looking at, I and the old freaking manager, and just with the kids, and it is absolutely adorable. You got to feel bad because, just she feels responsible for, everything that happened, and she would have been there, but we all know it would have happened at some point, and it's not her fault at all. If anything, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I'd say it's Aqua's fault, but tomato, tomato. But okay, so then we get to the house again, and Ruby's obviously really wanting to go to this agency, and after Aquamarine and Miyako have kind of confronted what this contracting agency is about, they're like, no, you can't be joining this group. But we get to the house, and everybody's sitting there, and Miyako's like, the world you're going to get into, there's stalkers, kind of said earlier, it's harsh, and everything else. But, Ruby's standing her foot down. She's like, I want to be like my mom. And so Miyako's like, yeah, you can't join. And of course, Ruby's like panicking, about ready to bawl her eyes out. But Miyako comes in and finally offers her a spot at the Strawberry Productions agency. And she's going to start another idol group. The convincing of her daughter and Aqua just finally got her to do it. And So she has her obviously sign the contracts or stamp the contracts, and she makes a joke, but it's a serious joke. But she's like, "Yeah, you fuck with us, we'll sue you." So pretty much after she signs the contracts and everything, we flash back to the director's house again, and this scene was absolutely one of the best scenes of the whole show or episode today. And so Aqua and him are talking about, he's like, yeah, we're gonna take up acting again, and he's like, no, I'm pretty content with the assistant director side of everything, even though you can kind of tell he doesn't want to. But the main reason he really took up acting in the first place was to find out about his dad and how everything happened, so that so they could get revenge on everybody. But yeah, he does actually like to act a little bit, and it's kind of sad, even though he's in denial and he says he has no talent, and he says he's just gonna give up. And the director gives him some like really good advice here, pretty much telling him, I kept dreaming 20 years ago. I'm a middle-aged man, and I look where I'm kind of at. And right before he can really even finish the sentence, his mom burst in the door, and he's like, I'm trying to say something important, don't interrupt me. And right before frickin' he can even continue to do this, his mom burst in again, cleaning up all his ramen cups and shit off the ground, and so he has to kick her out again. And then Aqua's like commenting on the fact that, why would I even listen to you? You're still living with your mom. Even though, he's like, yeah, hey, there's a lot of people in the business like me. It's a big, spacious family house in the middle of Tokyo. Why the hell would I move out? But, oh my gosh, pretty much he tells him, look, you're never going to be your mom, and she can never be you. Pretty much just pursue your dreams. Just, you had a setback or two, things will happen. And so Aqua thinks back to the last moments of Ai's life and how she was asking if he's going to be an actor or not. And right before Aqua can pretty much say, hey, I want to act again, Mom bursts in again and asks if Aqua's coming to dinner. And it's such a classic scene. I freaking love it to death. It is absolutely astounding. But, and then after that, we go to the school now with the auditions, and, we find out that Aqua had a massively, almost double score for entries, and obviously they think his name's kind of goofy, but, I digress. And then right afterwards, he meets with Ruby in the hallway and asks how it went, and they both, obviously are going to get in, but right there, as they're talking, somebody walks by, and I'm actually kind of excited about this, but Kana walks by, the girl from earlier in the very beginning of the not the beginning, the mid last episode. And I have actually read this series, so I kind of know what's going to happen, obviously, but the way they animate this series, especially obviously the eyes of the characters that are important and have an essential role, is just outstanding. It's like you get like a star in their eyes, like not necessarily as much as Ruby or Aqua or I, but you get this glimpse, and she stops and she's like, oh my god, is this Aqua? We acted in that movie together. And she's like just really excited. You can tell that she clearly is excited and has a crush on him, which you could tell from they were children, because that's how girls are. And she had that reality check that the director was talking about, how you're gonna make it or break it depending on how you are as a person in this industry. And right after that, she asks if you're going to be acting together in this classes, and he's like, nah, I just took general. And she freaks out, and that is the end of the episode. It cuts instantly to a credit board, or a name drop board for the episode, and then the outro song kicks in. It is a fantastic outro song. Seriously, I can't think of like another show, like I said, besides Mushoku Tensei, that has me just gleaming like this, and I am so happy it's getting the attention it is. Holy shit, like I can't believe it. Everybody, I can't even think of an argument. It's just that great, and I could just keep rambling and rambling and rambling, but the way it's going, the direction they're taking it, the animation, like I said earlier, the sound, the character designs, and the way the plot moves is perfect. French kiss, perfect. And oh, I'm so excited to cover this. This is great. If you guys have anything to say about this episode, how you feel about it, or the series in general, just leave a comment down below. And if you like this video, please leave a like. And if you feel like subscribing, hey, that'd be pretty neat. And if you didn't really enjoy too much, I don't know why you're still here, but I thank you much for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. And I guess we'll see everyone in the next one. This has been Squids, and I'll catch you later. Peace.